You know how big West Coast trips can be for teams. What is one thing you'd like your group to establish right off the bat to set the tone for the rest of the trip?
I really think it's, starting on the defensive end. When you go out west, teams tend to play a little bit faster. There's more pace to the game, so us understanding that right away. So it's going to put, a challenge to our transition defense, how we take care of the basketball, but just establishing the tone defensively, getting back in transition, but also being able to just be more physical on our offensive end and execute down the stretch.
You just mentioned execute down the stretch. Kenny said you guys went through some late game scenarios in practice today. Just what did you think of practice overall and working on that?
I thought it was great. I thought there was a great competitive spirit to it, understanding what we need to communicate in each and every situation, because we're going to be in a lot of late games, and us understanding what we need to do in those moments is going to be very important. So I thought it was a very good practice for that.
I know this team has high expectations for itself, and you have high expectations for this team. But we talked a lot about kind of giving them a little bit of time to adjust and get back into the swing of things. How do you balance that, knowing there's less than half a season left? I mean, it's still 34 games is a lot, but things are tightening up and you have to kind of be.
Yeah, it's a lot of games, but then it tightens up very quickly. Before you know it, you're looking at 25 games left. So our ability to understand exactly what that means and are we getting better in those moments? Because we've always talked about, are you playing your best basketball in March and April? And that's what we're working towards. So these late game scenarios, these practices that we're going through, the film study and being in these close games is going to be so important as we move down the stretch. But understanding you're not going to be there right away tomorrow. It's going to take some time, but also know, are you progressing there? And that's what's most important.
Do you feel like you're seeing progress from Paolo and Franz, especially as they kind of get back in this one?
Yeah, and we've talked about it from the beginning. There's going to be some ups, some downs, some very good games, and some games where they're still trying to find some rhythms, and that's part of it. It's like the beginning of a season when we keep mentioning training camp. Those are parts of it. These guys being together only for 9 games now all together as a group. Our ability to come together quickly and learn and have practices like this, will help that process.
Paolo mentioned that it's kind of an unspoken thing for those two to play off of one another just in the limited minutes that they have been able to this year. What have you liked about that combination?
I think they have great communication. Not good communication, they have great communication. In game, how guys are playing him or Paolo, how guys are playing Franz, and then how they can feel things throughout the game. And now, just the continued piece is that they continue to echo that, to the team, their teammates that are out there, understanding how to make plays, when to make plays, and putting those guys in the right position because they are going to see double teams. They're going to see loaded defenses, so understanding where to be on the floor at any specific time.
How's Jalen doing?
Jalen was not able to go through practice today, but he's still working his way through.
How's Gary doing?
Gary was able to go through a little bit of practice and contact.
Tristan was named the Rising Star yesterday. For him to step in the way he did with the injuries, just what have you made of the way he's played, and what was your reaction to see him get rewarded for that?
Extremely happy for him. Extremely happy for him and Mac. I think these guys have continued to work at their craft, work at their game. But just for Tristan in particular, because he's been here for with us throughout the entire year, his ability to step in, not knowing what minutes he was going to get, how much he was going to play, and to be able to contribute, to winning, and the ability for the teammates to trust him and how he knows how to play the game.
Paolo said it wasn't necessarily a surprise for him to get that nomination, but for him to be so comfortable in such various roles throughout the year. Just I know you've got the Colorado connection with him and everything, but what has stood out to you about just him as a rookie?
I just think his confidence, his poise, the maturity. I think his ability to make the right play at the right time, understanding where he's supposed to be on the floor, all of those things. He's got that, I wouldn't say, a quiet confidence is what you can kind of call it, that he understands what he needs to do in order to get better, the work ethic that he has to have in order to keep working throughout in this league.
Your group will see Portland again after just seeing them. What were your takeaways from that first matchup? Some things for your group that they may have learned from that first meeting.
Well, I really think it's going to be about our energy level and how we put our stamp on the game. Again, since we're starting that West Coast trip, it's got to be the defensive end. And I thought, in that game against Portland, was our defense where it was supposed to be? And I think we've got to make sure that we get that focus level to establish right away. Can we be more physical? Can we be more deliberate in what we're doing? Can we be intentional in our offensive execution? I think those are all the small pieces that we want to look forward to when we hit the road.
Chauncey, you said the last time when they were here just the other week, the other day or whatever, that you were a better basketball player than you got credit before, just because you didn't make it to the NBA. Just I know you guys didn't play together, but what kind of player were you?
I don't like talking about the old days, but I was a guy that was going to do whatever I could to be on the floor, defensive focus, energy, rebounding, defending any position, knock down shots occasionally. I mean, in college it was more about being in the mid-range because I could knock those shots down. I wasn't a three-point shooter, but again, just whatever it took to help the team be successful, I was willing to do. And then just trying to lead the guys on the team that were our star guys, just help them, be in the best position to help us all be successful. That's how I played.
Denver's one of the teams on this road that you guys are on. Obviously, you started your coaching career there. You played college there. Tristan was there. Just what's it like for you to go back to Denver after all these years?
I think it's always great to see the relationships that you've built, the people that you've been around, the way it has impacted my entire career. And I wouldn't be here without that scenario, that situation, being with Kroenke and them giving me an opportunity, George and Coach Gerg and all these guys that gave me the first opportunity to be able to establish a coaching career and be able to pour into these guys. And just the experience has been fantastic. And then the Colorado roots, obviously going to CU and having those connections. That's where it all started for me, just from the professional side. So it's great to reflect back on, but it's also wanting to go back there and get a win.
Thanks, Jamal.
Thank you guys, appreciate it. Thank you.
Kenny, you know how big road trips out west could be for teams. What would you like to see your group establish right off the bat to begin the trip?
A win. That's first and foremost. But just starting the road trip off with a win. Great energy. I know it's just going to be us. As far as like bringing that energy that we need. But yeah, just playing together, playing hard, being smart with what we do, intentional, and yeah, just coming out with a win to start the road trip off.
In your experience around the NBA, you've been in a lot of different locker rooms. With these mid-season lulls that happen, what do the teams that you've been a part of to get out of these? What characteristics do those you share?
The togetherness, I would say, just staying together, no matter what, what we go through, ups and downs. Some guys might come in and it might not be their day, and just being there for your brothers and helping them out in any way we can. Just staying the course. Eventually, we'll get ourselves up out of there, but just staying the course and just being intentional on what we do, as far as on the court and off the court.
How was practice today, and what did you think you guys got out?
Practice was pretty, solid. We got a chance to run up and down a little bit. Just going through some end of game scenarios where we kind of struggling at right now in the finish games, or we maybe turn the ball over or moving a little too fast. But so just working on that and trying to see what we can get and just being patient.
How much of that is just as you guys work back to full strength and different pieces coming back? How much is that credited for that, or what do you think is missing and ending games the way you want to?
I got just being intentional on what we do, and just being patient and slowing down. I think at the end of games, we the team speed us up. We're making plays that that's not there, or we're trying to force something instead of taking the open shot or open play that's there. But I think we just got to just be patient and slow down and try to get a shot every time down the floor.
Obviously, you guys are still kind of working some guys back. Moses talked to us about giving yourselves some grace as guys kind of integrate back into the lineup. But how difficult is it to do that when you guys clearly have a high expectation for yourselves?
I mean, it gets hard, trying to get them guys back in the rotation, trying to get them a rhythm within the game, but also trying to everybody else trying to keep their rhythm. But I said this recently, but just have them guys try to fit in with us, as a team. We've been playing well, moving the ball and stuff like that. And we know Franz and Paolo is going to have the ball most of the time. Just like I said earlier, just being intentional and getting them open, making plays for them when we have balls in our hand, and just playing together.
Did you have to have sort of patience for that process? You know, you see it in moments with this team that they can look like when everything's up and running, but it's just not maybe consistent yet or all the way there.
Yeah, man, it's slowly it's getting there, and we still getting guys back. Jay Suds been out. Jay Suds on the way back. We just got Gary Harris back. Goga is back. So like most of our team is full, but we still implement guys in there. Still have different lineups every now and then, but it's gonna be difficult. But you know, the more we practice and get up and down here, I think it'll be easier on the court.
Tristan was named the Rising Star yesterday. Just obviously he was kind of thrust into that his role with injuries and those things. Just what have you seen from him in that role to be able to continue?
Just growth, especially as a rookie, being thrown into the fire like that, and being ready. He's been ready. He's been performing at a high level, and just congrats to him, you know, for making the Rising Star.
Thanks, Kenny.
Thank you.
Paolo, you know how big these West Coast trips can be for teams in various aspects. As you guys head out west, you know, what is one thing you'd like to see your group establish right off the bat to begin the trip to set the tone the rest of the way?
I would say just overall togetherness and communication. You know, no matter what happens, obviously you got 5 straight road games, so you know we're just gonna have to be really, you know, close and together. And so just looking for that, and just for us to get better over the course of the 5 games. Obviously, we'd like to win all 5, but just try and improve over the course of the trip.
I just asked Kenny about practice today. From your perspective, what do you think this group got out of today, and just how was practice?
It was fun. We just got some shots up, scrimmaged a little bit, got up and down. So yeah, it was fun. I had a good time.
And you said you guys worked on some late game situations and stuff. Just where are you guys looking to grow and improve in that area?
Just, you know, our spacing, figuring out where people are supposed to be at the right time, and then also just getting on the same page, communication on what we're trying to run, or you know what being intentional about, you know, what we're trying to get done in the possession.
We know that everyone on the team has high expectations for themselves. What's the process like of having the patience for you to kind of get back into the swing of things, or just kind of finding your rhythm as a group again?
Just one game at a time. You know, I think taking that approach, realizing that, you know, it's only been a couple games, and you know we got you know, a lot of time, but at the same time we have to have a sense of urgency to be better.
You've been back now for a couple weeks, I think 8 games. How do you feel like you're progressing? Are you starting to feel kind of more like you did at the beginning of the season, or a little bit more yourself, or is it still kind of a process to kind of get yourself back?
Yeah, I would say it's a process, you know. Like I said, just one game at a time. My body's been feeling pretty good. Obviously, the last 2 games I've played some pretty big minutes, so just seeing how my body responded to that, I think was a little encouraging. So yeah, just looking forward to the next challenge, and you know, trying to be better.
What's the challenge when you know teams are going to throw double teams at you constantly? You saw that quite a bit last year, but now that you're fully aware it's going to come, is that easier or more difficult, or what comes with that?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think I've been seeing doubles for a while now, so just expecting that, knowing that teams aren't just going to guard me one-on-one, you know, most of the time, and trying to find ways to beat it. You know, it takes all 5 guys on the court being on the same page on how to handle those double teams. You know, because while they're doubling me, you know, they're leaving somebody open, and it's just on us to find who that right guy is and make the right play.
What have you liked about the way you and Franz have kind of played off of each other in the first few games that you guys have both been available?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, you know, I think me and him just naturally do that. You know, we have a pretty good feel of, you know, when one is hot, when the other one is, you know, needs a touch and whatnot. So, yeah, I think it's kind of an unspoken thing where, you know, we just kind of make eye contact, and we know, you know, what each other wants in the moment. And I think we've done a good job of just communicating to each other what we see out there.
Tristan was named the Rising Star yesterday. Just what have you seen from him during the time that he stepped up, and especially now that you've got the chance to play a little bit more?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You know, he's came in and made an impact from day one. Just got to give a huge shout out to him, you know, for stepping in for those, you know, 25, 30 games and starting and just, you know, holding his own. That's not easy to do, you know, as a rookie in the NBA on a you know, competitive team that's trying to get wins. You know, he's really helped us in a lot of areas, and you know, big shouts to him for getting that Rising Stars. I hope he enjoys All-Star Weekend.
With that 5-game road trip, how do you stay locked in on taking it one game at a time instead of looking too far ahead and trying to come away with 5 points?
Yeah, I mean, 5 games, 5 different cities. So, just trying to take that one game at a time approach, one opponent at a time. Um, and, obviously, all 5 are quality opponents, so we're going to have to be ready. All games are on the road, so it's going to be tough environments. But like I said, we just got to be together and, I think just all be on the same page.
Thanks, Paolo.
Thanks, Pete.
Yes, sir.